Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have to apologise for not being around much lately, not posting. Unfortunately, I've had a little hiccup in my life, which I'll tell you about. If you've watched previous videos, you'll know about. But here we are. We're at Lago Maggiore. We are doing this week's or this fortnight's lap attack challenge. And I'm going to take you through 17 laps of how to get to gold. So whilst it sounds like a lot, 17 laps is approximately 3 hours of video time, which it took me. You can see there last week we did the 2 million credits for getting gold at Lago in Brazil, down at Interlagos. And here we go. This week we're in the Nissan Z Performance 23, a particularly twitchy car, which we're going to take out for a test drive now. You can see the current world record is a 2:16.480, and to get gold we need a 2:25.74. So I had bought one of these already, but I didn't like it in blue, so we're going to switch over to the yellow, just for personal preference and personal taste. And it's a bopped track, it's a bopped race, it's 399 brake horsepower, and I think there's very little you can do to the car to make any changes. I think the only thing you can actually apply is aero changes, which might just be a physical look to the car, but it might change how the car handles. We're on sport hards, which kind of explains why it's a little bit twitchy, and it's rear wheel drive, so if you're braking in a straight line you're fine. But here we go. As you can see, bottom right hand corner, we've got no record set, so this is my first recorded attempt at a lap. You're going to see every lap roughly from the same spot, even if they're consecutive laps, and we will show you as well as we go through this some really interesting outcomes of running this type of test. So what I did this over 5 sessions, basically 3 sessions of half an hour, one of about 20 minutes, and the last one was in the region of an hour and 20, maybe an hour and 40 minutes. And I'm only showing you the progress of achieving the fastest lap every time. What you'll also notice is you can borrow quite a bit of track. If you're not proficient round here, and this really is a video for you, if you're not particularly fast, if you're struggling to get that gold, you will find I am on traction control 1, ABS default, and no other help aids. That's it, traction control 1. People will say you'll be slower with traction control. I'm manual gears with an auto clutch, so that is flappy paddles on the back of my G29. I'm using pedals from a G25, which I've modified and converted to being flipped over, so they're upside down mounted. I've moved the gas pedal, the throttle pedal, over to the right hand side by about an inch, and I've lifted it up so it matches the layout in my personal car. And that's about it for modifications. I'm in a custom rig, which again I built myself out of MDF, so there isn't anything here that I've got that is special. I'm not elite, I'm good, but I'm not good enough to sit with the best out there. I'm good enough to get gold. I think that's about it. So here we go. First lap out. We're borrowing a little bit, and we're also finding the limits of the car. This car at this point is the absolute default. It's unmodified, and I am finding it a little bit twitchy under the throttle. So as we just complete this lap and get a time in, you can see it literally is the first time I've completed a full lap. And this was about the 5th attempt, I have to say. I did lose it a couple of corners on the way to getting this. And you can see virtually every corner I'm sliding it into that corner. And I'm also very aware we're also 14 or 15 days into this experience. No, we're 10, 11 days into this experience. And there's only 3 days left. And there it is, a 2:24.952 puts me in the top 15,000-ish, top 6.3%, 6.2%. And I'm nowhere near anywhere on my friends list. I'm probably 4th or 5th. But there it is, that was day 1. I wasn't really satisfied with that. So what I do know is I like a little bit more grip on the back end. So I thought, why not? Let's see what we can actually modify and see if it will actually make a change. So I went to go and buy one of these rather than rent the car. So I went and bought one, not expensive, in the Nissan lounge, and it's there. It's back there, mate. It's back. No, go left. No, stop going right. Go left. It's over there. No, you missed it. You missed it. Go back. Go back. Come on. There we go. Back on track. 70k, and I'm having the yellow one. It's quite a nice looking car. It reminds me of a 240Z. I say 240Z, a 240 LS or whatever they're called, the drift cars. It reminds me of that, and it drives like that, to be honest. But let's go into GT Auto. Let's see what we can do. Will it? I know we can put wings and stuff on it, but will it change how the car performs? I don't know. It will just make me stand out. So let's go wing on the back. Got to go the biggest one, haven't you? Yeah, why not? Let's go wang. Big wang. That's what we want. Come on. Height. There it is. We'll not change anything else. We'll just keep the Type 7s on. £2 grand. It's probably what they cost in real life. Put the rear valance on. Nice. Get the air going straight underneath the car. Speed it up a bit. Side skirts. Try and get a bit of, what do they call it? Downforce. Makes the channels the air underneath the car. There's a front splitter just to give us a bit more downforce on the front. No idea whether it has an effect. This is just psychological. But doesn't she look good in yellow with black roof? Very nice. Could have cut out the please wait, but there we go. We're applying it. And here we go, back on track. 224,952, that's where we were. So let's see where we go. And let's talk more about where we're going to be going on the track. And let's try and understand it. I've done thousands of laps here. As you've enjoyed my previous videos, we're going to brake on the second to last mark of the 100. Here it is, braking down. We've got a little bit of slide on, but we come round there nicely. Second gear for this corner. It was third gear for turn 1. Putting it out wide, we're going to cut back across these curves, trying to borrow a little bit, and you could probably borrow a little bit more, as we'll find out later. Second gear for this corner. And our previous Ghost came back at us there, but we're quicker than it down the hill. You can see this wasn't the first lap. We've done a 225 on the lap prior. Now this is a tricky corner. Try and straighten it up is what I was trying to do here, because if you saw on the first lap out, I actually kind of lost it. I was quite lucky to catch that. Traction control has an effect up here. It really does hold you back. Maybe we're in a world where we can actually control the traction control by turning it on and off at certain points, but I haven't done that at all. It's just on all the time. Through the S's, turning left over that curve. We can borrow a lot more there, which we'll find out later. And we need to get into fifth a lot earlier than there, but as you can see, we're already half a second up on the Ghost. So with a 224.952 at this point in time, I'm expecting to finish in a 224 dead. I'd like to see a 224 dead down here. Going to brake just before the tyre marks. And let's just talk about braking in this car. If you slam down the gears, you're going to lock up the rear axle, and that's what causes this car to swing about. If those rear wheels lock up, you're going to lose control going into the corners. So you've got to brake and then change down. You've got to wait for the car's revs to match your impetus. And as you change down, you're only changing down to keep the rear wheels spinning rather than locking up. Seems to be very light at the back end. Kind of blew it there again, didn't I? 224.952. We're keeping a bit of a gap. We're still going to improve. Let's see where we go. We've pulled out a little bit again there over the Ghost. We've probably got a full second. He's almost disappeared out of sight. But we're doing all right. We are not bad. We're still way off gold. We're still in the bronzes at this point. So what do we get? A 223.966. So we did pull out over a second. Here we go. Another 4 laps down. Well, another 2 laps down. That was a 223.966 was the best time last. And across the line we're going to go to start the new lap. A 224 dead, so we weren't far off a target. 0.074. Oh my lord, we find we can really cut that apex at turn 1, can't we? Doesn't look like the rear wing gave us any more grip. But that's what happens when you change down too fast. You lose that back end. So what I find with chasing the Ghost is you can really race it. One of my mantras from the old videos, don't race it, chase it. So we've got to chase the ghost down, and all you've got to do, that ghost is set 0.4 seconds ahead. All you've got to do is finish within 0.4 seconds of the ghost and you've improved your lap time. And that's the process we're thinking about here. As you can see, we gained quickly on the ghost there, so we're a third of the lap in, maybe 25% of the lap in. We're ahead of the ghost, so we're doing well. Coming through those S's, we can take those a lot quicker. If we get a much smoother line into there, and if we turn left into there a lot easier, and a lot smoother without the car sliding, we can gain massive amounts of time. Just got to watch this one here. Don't try and oversteer it. You'll slide the car, as you'll see later. But we're already up on our time. We're in 0.4 of a second of that lead car. So you can see there we're beating the time, braking down to here into third gear for this corner. We can really cut those inner curbs, no dramas. You're going to turn left up the hill at the start of the white marker curbs on the right hand side. I blew it there, I missed it. And then we can put two wheels on the grass on the inside of this apex here. We've done that beautifully. Don't just watch the slide. But we're within the purple, we're within the 0.4 of the car in front. We slid it in there again. I'd really like to take that corner in fourth and get it really smooth. We're not going to make a massive time on this one, are we? Look at it, we're letting him go. Come on, boy. So by this point, we've probably put an hour in. Let's see where we go. We're just going to catch him, I think, there. If we end up at 2:23.9.1, I think we're lucky. What we're going to get a 2:23.939, and that's where we got to at the end of the day. Not majorly impressive. We're still in bronze, and we're in the 11,600s, 5.47. So we've increased by 1.5%, which isn't bad, but we're still looking at a 2:25.74 to get gold. Whoever set that 2:16 is an absolute god, one has to say. But here we go, this was another day. This was a couple of days on. I've really been struggling with my health of late. I've had some surgery. I'm actually 2 days away from another surgery, which is going to take me offline for a little while. But I'm getting better. I'm on my way through, and I'm at least able to sit in front of the steering wheel for half an hour. I haven't actually been able to drive in my private life. I've been stuck to the house for 4 weeks, and I've not been able to drive on the computer. So this has just been me easing into it. What I have been doing is trying to focus on my day job so I can earn money to keep the world spinning. But the crucial part is that I'm getting better. So I'm hoping within a week after my surgery that I'm back to fighting strength again, and I can go back to work full time, and I can actually start putting some time into my YouTube channel and giving you guys snippets of how to get better at the game. So without further ado, we'll talk our way through the lap. We've done that first 25%, and within shouting distance, but we're still really messy at this point. We've got to really start to tidy it up, borrow a bit more. We've got to learn to drive the chicane a lot straighter. We've got to learn to pull that curb and get over that curb. You can see there, we need to get into fifth a lot earlier. Run over that sausage curb, but be careful, that's a risky move. Run out to this curb on the left hand side just to try and keep that corner straight as possible. Traction control, if you turn over 3 degrees, you're going to lose the forward impetus. Here we go, braking down to third gear. We just locked the back wheels fractionally there, but we're still ahead of the ghost, well ahead. And I have to tell you, at certain points, at this point as well, I was really starting to worry about blowing it at this point. We're nicely ahead. We are significantly ahead of the ghost to make a massive difference in time. And I'd say at 4 or 5 points at this time, I'd actually blown it on these left couple of corners and hit that wall on the left hand side, or one corner back, hit the wall on the left by glancing the rear off it and getting a time penalty, and it just, so frustrating. But as we come down the hill, this was the bit I was critical of. As the tarmac just changes colour, you brake and I blow it and slide out right. Oh, absolute nightmare. But with that much better off, look at it. So what we know is now, next time coming round for a lap, if if we're anywhere near the ghost, we've got a massive chunk of time to increase on because we've blown it. So here we go, coming through here. 2:23, 2:20 is the new time to beat. And we know we've got a rubbish back end of the lap. So let's see how we go. Let's see how much we can beat it by. We need to stay with this ghost, and then we've got a good last corner, and we've made massive chunks of time. Again, a massive benefit of racing your ghost. It is monumentally easier to compete against yourself when you know the ghost is yours. I really don't find I get any benefit from putting somebody else's faster ghost on. A, I don't know how they drive. B, it's highly likely that they're going to be driving without traction control, and probably after 4 or 5 corners I've lost them. I can't keep anywhere near them. You see how much smooth we were into that corner just then. We're keeping a lot of momentum, we've just blown it there, and that's part of the problem. We've got to drive this car much smoother. You've got to get that weight transfer minimal. You've got to keep this car planted. Look at the back end go. But what we do know is that we mess up the end of the lap in the ghost. So let's keep going. Let's not throw this one away, because we could have quit out and started again. But what we're going to do is try and keep on improving, because what we do know is we've made mistakes. And if we're still better than the ghost, we can outrace our next ghost, because we've made mistakes, and we'll keep getting better and better and better. What I do find later on, see, there's the back end going. Oh, what a tragedy. How much do you think we'll beat that 2:23, 2:20 by? Probably not a lot, because this is absolutely a shocking lap. We've not got this under control at all. 2:23, 2:20 is still bronze, which look terrible. And there goes the ghost car. Look, he's gone out to the right. He's come back left, and he's not accelerating. So we're going to beat him by 0.6, 0.8, 0.642. So a 2:22.578 is the new target, and there it is. And as you can see, we went off and did some more laps, but we didn't gain anything there. We were really sloppy and messy, and that was the end of day 2. 2:22.578 into the silvers, into the top 7,000, 6,300, into the top 4.5%. And that was a good feeling, day 2. You can see the date on the top right hand corner there, and you can see it was around about 9:30 at night. So I was really tired by that point, because my body's not able to do what it used to do at the minute. But here we go, with 2:22.578 is the target. Coming into T1, braking on that second flag above your head. Again, we've caught up 0.4 of a second, and you have to be aware. You can call it 2 things. The concertina of racing the ghost. At slower parts of the track, 0.4 seconds is much closer than at faster parts of the track. Some people call it concertina, some people call it hysteresis, but it's one of those things. As the car gets slower, the 0.4 gets shorter. So catching the car in the first corner could be misleading, because you're going to catch it. Oh, look at that slide, that drift. Oh, that's tragic. But we're still ahead of the ghost. We get a better acceleration because the steering wheel was straighter, because we'd already put that turn in. Now you've got to brake there at the start of that sausage curve. It feels like, red and white curve, it feels like you can actually brake much later, but use the start of the marker as the braking point, and you will actually brake maybe a car length over the start of that curve, which is fine, because it will get you down to the right speed. And it was about this time I learned that it's the start of the brake, the red and white curve on the right hand side is where you've got to brake. Here it's before the tyre marks on the tarmac, and then you can dive right down into that corner so much more. Did you see how the ghost caught me? I wasn't concentrating correctly on braking at that point. Red and whites, turn in, try and put the 2 left tyres onto or over the white curb, then try and put 2 tyres in the grass here. Don't run out too wide. Oh, I was lucky to save that. Bit of a lift with 0.625 up on the previous lap. Well, good, we keep pulling it out. we also keep blowing it and letting that ghost back in. So what also we need to remember is when you quit out of the race and come back in, you lose your ghost unless you've saved it and you reload it. I don't do that. I just go with the current ghost from the day, because I guess the way for me to work is I'll do half a dozen laps, set my new ghost, and then try and just keep beating that ghost because the rhythm changes. That's a 2:22.429, so a little bit of improvement again, but it's still not from gold. We are almost, I'd say, 2.1 seconds off gold with that time. So we've got to find half a second in 4 corners, and we're well back on this ghost here. But as I said earlier, let's not give up on a race. Let's not give up on a lap when we know we've made mistakes. Let's improve. And if we make mistakes and still beat the ghost, we can still improve. And that's my mantra, that's my thought, that's my process. And I did this with 17 improvements. It's 17 laps, and I might start this video, might call it how to get gold in 17 laps. It's a bit clickbaity, but it's 17 good laps. I probably did 100. I know I did the best part of, I oil changed the car. That's how I know I did so many laps. I did 300 plus laps. 300 plus miles, sorry. So 300 plus miles is 150 laps. That's a lot of laps, but I'm only going to show you 17. And we're up on the ghost and we're up on a purple sector, so this is 2 consistent laps, one after the other. You can see we were getting faster, a 2:24, a 2:23, a 2:22. I can't see this being a 2:21, but if it's anywhere near a 2:21, it's a better lap. We have to put our nose in front of this car to get a 2:21. We come round that corner nicely, and we put 2 tyres on the grass, but let's not worry about it. We're 0.2 up, we've come past the ghost, we're getting it sideways, and look how much you can borrow there. You can really take a massive chunk of grass. Even though that wasn't quicker, we can learn from that, and we've missed that apex. Oop-de-doo, you can put 2 tyres over the orange curb, help you get round the corner, because you can hold that front wheel on the inside of there. Coming down the hill, let's not lose it to the right. 4th gear, we use 3rd gear to stabilise the car, we've lost the back end, come on. Disappointed in that. Even though I know what comes, it's still frustrating. Hang on, a 2:22.429, and the previous lap was a 2:22.429. I was so stunned at that I had to stop the video. 2 laps of exactly 2:22.429. What consistent, strikeout consistent. How rubbishly badly lucky was that to be able to do 2 laps at 2:22.429. Wow, never seen myself do that before, ever. So I could have done this in 16 laps without showing you that second absolute copybook spot for spot lap, full of mistakes. But there it is. I'm hoping I haven't left this too late for you guys, for you to be able to watch it and go out and get that gold. I do apologise for not having this out there and up there, because I could have done it in 4 videos, 4 15-minute videos for every session that I did, but honest to folks, I haven't been able to. There we go, we drove that corner much better, but did you see it there? Did you see the TC get involved and just prevent our impetus coming out of that corner, braking on that red and white? Left it a little bit too late, the back end swings out, we've dipped nicely down into that corner. Do not go too far to the right on that corner. We've probably gone too far to the right there. There we go, sausage curb, that can throw you. See how far we are in front of that ghost? We're miles up. Well done, son. A 1:14.659, that's not the fastest we've been, but it's certainly up there, braking before the tyre marks. Oh, we can get much lower on that apex. I know we can, we didn't hit the gravel, that's great. Ghost car caught us a wee bit. But at this point, we look to be somewhere in the region of 0.9 seconds ahead. If this takes us to a 2:21, that'll be superb. Let's not be greedy at this point, because we know we can blow it. this braking point, when you see that pit entry white line, the long straight one, that's when you're braking. If you're fully on the brakes when that pit exit line disappears, you've made the corner. That is what I've managed to work out. Two wheels on the curb, brake when the dark patch of tarmac comes along. That isn't a bad corner exit there. It could have been better, but we're up. We're well up on the Ghost, but I don't think that Ghost is the actual Ghost. So, oh wow, it must have been a 2:21.606. We're well up on that. That was 0.8 of a second. Superb. So with the 2:21.6, we're 1.3 seconds off gold. And what that kind of suggests is that we're still a long way off, folks. We made a second almost on the last day's work, so here we go. We keep pushing along. Apex this corner, try and close up if we can get on the back bumper. We've made 0.4 of a second. We haven't. The gap's probably about where it was, 0.4. So what we know is if we've got an exceptionally quick replay through this first part of the track, and look how much she's pulling away. We have to be on the game at this point, and this is the frustration with how you drive and how you improve. What I found is if I couldn't beat the Ghost and I was struggling and I was doing 10 or 12 or 14 laps to get anywhere near the Ghost, I would quit out, come out the game, go back in and start without a Ghost and beat it again. But that's only because I'd set such a fast early section. You need to have that positive motion of being able to beat your Ghost all the time to beat the time, because once you get in front you have to force yourself to drive faster and harder. There we go, much quicker through that corner there. Two tyres on that curb, come across the top of this curb up into fifth early, allow the car to drive early because it's got good boost. It's a turbocharged car, you can hear it. Oh, we lost the back end just a wee touch there, but we're on it. The 2:21.6 is in. If we're doing the lap at this point, you know we're going to go and beat the time. So we are a good, I'd say a second, maybe 0.8 of a second behind our Ghost. Just where are we going to catch this time up? Put two tyres on the white curb, then try and get two tyres on the grass. We've done that, we've followed the Ghost beautifully. We just used that grass again, but we've closed up on him. We're sliding into this corner, going to use that curb, fourth gear, keep it in fourth. Come into this corner, keep it in fourth, don't slide it too much, we're right with him. Oh, it's just that little rock at the back end, that weight transfer just blew it, didn't it? Well, let's see what we do. Nice and tight into this corner, nicely done. We don't want to twitch from the back end, we kept that nice and tidy. Used all the curb on the exit, we don't get out that wide very often, but we're quick, we're catching the Ghost. The 2:21.410, happy days. We're moving down, so we're within a second almost now of getting that gold. You can see there's a 2:21.36 in there, which isn't gold, that's only just faster than we've done, but we know we can be quicker, so we're happy with that. We're not too far off what our best is at the moment. So that's the end of day 3. We're on to the 22nd of September at 8:20 AM. So I was just about to go to work, which is actually downstairs in the kitchen for 8:30. But that's what we did, and that's where we were. We're second in the friends list. You can see Mr. Iceman there on a 2:20.5. Dobster there on a 2:24.9. I hope he can watch the video when it gets released tomorrow, because he's done a massive run. He's run something like 50 Ks today. So Dobber, well done, mate. Good job, and hope you recover quickly. You can get back on the game for tomorrow to enjoy some Gran Turismo, because I do know you like it, mate. And you can see you need to get a gold, mate. You're at bronze. You need to get into that silver section. You need a 2:23 at least. But I'm quite happy with where that is today. There we go, on to the last day. This is the last, hopefully 20 minutes of the video, maybe 15. We've only got 3 or 4 laps to show you now. 2:21.410. Let's see if we can knock off that last second and get into the gold medals. It's more about the 2 million credits for me. Do you see how much of that curb he stole then? But jeepers. Not forgetting this is a new Ghost, because that Ghost from yesterday was exceptionally quick in the first sector. Look how much we're going to start to steal on that corner. Look at that. You've just got that corner straighter. Don't let the car swing out to the left there with the back end slide. But you can use all that curb. Don't worry about it. Use as much of that curb on the left as you want to. Braking for this corner. Now I was originally trying straight line braking, and you've kind of got to, but you've got to swing out wide, and then you've got to accelerate as straight as possible to stop that traction control kicking in and eroding your speed going up the hill. It really does kill you going up that hill, but look how much quicker you can be into that corner when you brake at the right point. Try and straighten it up, turn left over the top of this curb. If you can go over the top of that curb in 5th gear, nice and early, get the throttle down, you can be so much quicker. And we just lost out a little bit to the Ghost there. We had to lift sliding out through that right-hander. But if we brake just before the start of those tyre marks and swing down and get on the throttle early, see how much quicker we were through the corner there? Turn into the corner as you hit that red and white curb on the right, get 2 wheels up onto that curb. Look how much quicker we are through there. That's superb. Don't swing out too far to the left. We still put 2 tyres on the grass, but we're good. White mark on the paint line for the exit of the curb. Get the car through the corner in 4th gear. Keep it in 4th. I kept changing down to 3rd there and blowing really good laps. You just got to keep the impetus. It's a turbo car. It'll handle being in the lower gear, the 4th gear. Nicely onto that curb, keep the throttle down. That whole last section's 4th and 5th gear. Run for the line, we're well ahead of that Ghost. 2:21.394, so that was a previous Ghost, but we'd only just beaten that time by 0.02. But at the end of the day, we've still beat it. We've got lots of mistakes. We spotted that as we ran round the lap. As we're faster than that car at this point, we know we're going to be doing well. Really get over that inner curb. We can borrow a bit more to the right hand side there, getting 2 wheels on the orange curb. That would be great if we can do that. It's a beautiful track here as we go down this hill. I often find myself looking into that range of hills, but we can't. You've got to concentrate. Brake early. Get the car out wide. Get back on the throttle in 3rd gear. Try and get as straight as you can. You can see the Ghost coming back at us because he had a tighter line. He's now in front of us. You've really got to get the car straight. Can we be faster through here? No, the back end has swung out to the right. Can we recover that by getting the car straight and then turning early over these curbs? No. We've got to do it later in the lap. Oh, there's a penalty. That's a shocker. And with that, what's going to happen? How come we've kept our foot in? Why am I showing you this? I'm not. I'm showing you how you can blow it. But there it is. That's normally what happens. And then we're back on it again. Start the lap, which can be a real frustration. But this is just how it goes. Down to T1 again, braking on that 2nd flag, and then blew it for whatever reason. Interesting bit of video recording there. Don't know why it did that, but here we go. A little bit of a stutter as we go through. T1 braking on the 2nd flag. There we go. Close back up to the back of the car. You start to see that I'm using a lot more of the yellow curb on the inside. I suppose that what I'm trying to demonstrate by doing this kind of video is just showing you how much you can improve on hand over fist. And there we go, we've blown it early in the lap, haven't we? Absolutely blown it early in the lap. We're still a second away from goal, but let's keep the pressure on, let's keep persevering, let's push on, let's see where we go. We're back up with him, look. Oh, there was that TC again cutting in. Meant we short shifted up to 4th, which wasn't great. Let's see if we can keep it nice and tidy, keep the back end in check. Here we go, starting to ride that curb now, up into 5th early. I think we can change up earlier next time round. See how much quicker we are into there from changing up early. Using a bit of the grass. It's not the fastest we've been through there, but it is today. Brake on the start of those. We need to be braking just a bit before the starts of those tyre marks. But we were quick through there. We were faster than the Ghost. Probably about 0.6 seconds ahead of the Ghost now. That'll take us to a 226-ish, a 227, which would be superb. We're 0.7 seconds up on our previous best lap time. Borrowing a bit of the old grass there on a bit of the hard curb. I'm sure the old track officials will be down looking at our pushing of the limits. Oh, we lost a load of time through there, didn't we? Oh, that's shockingly bad. Get into that corner. The Ghost is much quicker than we were there. Let's see how much we can keep it tight. We only have to be within 0.4 to improve that time. We're probably going to take it by 0.2. We did. We beat it by 0.2. That's superb. Let's keep pushing on. Hit that apex and we're going on for another lap. So we're going to improve again. We know we made mistakes. Use more of that yellow. We're going to see just how much we borrowed on the curb on the inside here. See if we can beat it. Ooh, we at least matched it, but we're so much better through this corner. Let's see if we can go quicker. Got a bit of a slide on, but we're going to push it out wide. We're going to use as much of that curb as we can. Now we've got to capitalise here. We really have got to capitalise. We've got to keep pushing on. Brake in a straight line, down to 3rd. Push hard and accelerate. Don't let that traction control cut in. We short shifted to try and stop it. We did. We're pulling away from the Ghost. That's awesome. Nice and tight into there. See how much smooth we were, but the Ghost caught us. We've got to improve on this. We've got to really cut over this white curb. We tried up to 5th well early. Now we were very quick through here on the previous lap, so this Ghost will be quick. We've had to lift. Look how much that lift made a difference. Oh my lord. And this is the beauty of racing your Ghost consistently. We were half a second up on that Ghost going into that corner back there, and we're now all of a sudden 0.2 down against the Ghost. We were fast through there last time. We've just got to keep with him. Oh, this is the frustration of having a fast end of lap Ghost. Oh my. Proves you just have to be consistent. How these guys do a 216 is just beyond me. That's the difference is traction control. Being able to control a car with a very, very active rear end. Oh, it's tremendously difficult to do, and my total admiration goes out to those guys. I don't have the throttle control. I'm very much an on-off throttle kind of guy. It's either getting it all or it's getting nothing. But with that, we slide into this last bend. We've got to be within 0.2 of that Ghost to improve, and it looks like we're going to be. Are we going to see a 220? No, we beat it by an absolute margin. By 0.04, 0.4 something. Oh my. But it looks like we're going on for another lap, because again, we made some mistakes. That last Ghost beat the time, so we're going to have a fast early lap. We're going to have a poor middle section, and you can see him pulling out already. Look at that. Get into this corner faster than he did, but we let the back end slide. That's terrible. We know it's the S's where we're going to actually be able to improve on this Ghost, because he was slow. But let's see how we can get into this corner. Try not to let the back end break out too early. It's about changing down slowly with the gears. Lead with the brakes, not the gears. Gear braking, gearbox braking in this car isn't beneficial. Braking on the red and white. We know the Ghost was slow through here last time. Let's be quicker than the Ghost. Let's see if we can attack this red and white curb at the end here. Up into fifth early. There we go. Right across the crest of that corner. The back end slid a little bit. We can be quicker through here. We went over the orange curb, clipping that white curb. Try not to feather the steering, and there we go. We're with him. We're with him again. So we're actually doing well here. This is just how much we need to keep pushing. Braking on the start of the tyre marks on the floor. We were quicker through the apex there, but we weren't faster out of the corner. Looking to make the turn in on the red and white. 2 wheels on the white. Here we go. 2 wheels on the grass. That's what we're looking to do. Don't run it out too far left. Keep it on the white. There we go. Beautiful. Looking for the white line. There it is. Try and keep it in fourth. Don't change down to third. Keep the car under control. We lose it here a little bit with a bit too early throttle. We're actually good there. We've kept the power down. We're gaining on the Ghost. Now we did a perfect last corner here to improve. We just need to get within reach of his back bumper, and we do. That's beautiful. Don't let the back end twitch. Now push to the line. Run hard. We're within the Ghost. We're 0.4. It's definitely going to be a 220. A 220.7. So we're half a second off getting a Ghost and that gold now. If a 224 is the goal, we're 0.35 seconds off. Oh, a 220.7. That feels good at this point. We know it's within reach now, don't we? We've done a couple more laps on since we did that lap time. In fact, we've done a whole 4 laps. This is lap 5. I must have quit out at that point and restarted. It's the same Ghost, I do know that, because this was the last day of video. This was from last night when I actually did it. If I can get this video out early Sunday morning, you guys can watch this Sunday and try and apply it Monday to give you the Ghost, give you the gold before it gets awarded on Tuesday. I think it gets done Tuesday, I think that's the last day. But you know the spiel now. If you've done as many laps around this track as I have, and you've been watching this all the way through, and you understand where we're gaining and losing, and how we're just winning those tenths of a second every lap, it's tooth and nail stuff. And look how much quicker through there we were. Do we attack this curve, get right over the top? Yeah, that's the way. 5th gear early. There we go. The back end just drifted a wee bit. Ghost is just pulling away, but within touching distance. We're there. We're actually gaining back on him now. We had a good spin through there at 1:14.5. I think the fastest I've been through there is a 1:14.3. Braking at the normal point. See if we can get right down low. Oh, the back end broke free. Oh my lord. 2:27. Where are we going to be? 2 tyres on the white. 2 tyres in the grass. That's what we're trying for. Don't go out too wide, or we just have to check the throttle. White line, there it is. Nice through there. That kept us touching distance with the Ghost. I mean, it's amazing how the back end twitches exactly the same with the Ghost as it does in car. It just means we're replicating the speed, we're replicating the line, and it's doing exactly the same thing. Let's see if we get this perfect corner. 2 wheels on the curb. We're slightly faster than the Ghost there, but he's pulling away from us. Oh, where's this going to be? 0.2 behind. Oh, just 0.4 of a 0.4 of a second faster. Shocking. So a 2:27.02. So this is the next lap on. So this is going to be lap 7 when we go through the line. You can see we're way back. Yeah, we were 1.5 seconds back, so braking on that second to last flag. Cheating a bit of curb, borrowing a bit of grass. See if we get onto the yellow, that really gives us the impetus to get ahead of that car in front, but he's quicker out of there. Holy chipotle. Borrow some of that curb, get over there, there we go. And then brake early, get it in tight, try and use the orange curb on the inside, but we're not. Running it out wide to try and keep the speed so we get the throttle down early. Yeah, we're within touching distance, we're on our way. 220.7 is almost gold. I couldn't quit at this point because we know we're close to getting it. We just missed that apex. Got to run up the hill. We actually revved out all the way in third, but we were nice and tight there. We're going to look to brake on the red and white. Get in early, see if we can catch on the ghost. We can't, he's just pulling away from us, but we're straighter. So see if we've got the better approach. Get right over that curb. Fifth gear early. Fifth gear early and getting over that curb is the key to that corner. Oh, we've lost the back end a smidge. No, 1:14.7, so we're 0.2 down on a fastest lap there. Let's see if we can make it up through this corner. Brake on the start of the tyre marks. The other thing I need to point out to you is just how much the lighting changes and how much, if you're using light-based markers on the track, how bad it is when the shadows move. It's a good piece of advice to use permanent markers. So I know tyre marks aren't really very good because they move and change. But if you're using shadows as your markers, oh my lord, they move with the sun. And you can actually drive around here with headlights. When you get up to 14 or 15 laps, it's dark. And you're driving with headlights and the car in front's got brake lights on, as in day running lights. So you've nighttime running lights, so you've got permanent red lights, so you don't see the braking points. Look how much we caught up on him there in those last three corners. That's an absolute treat. So this should see us gain. 220.5, so we're definitely within 0.2 now. And then we go on to the next lap. So we've started again. We've got the same ghost. You can see how quick he is through there. But this is the end of the lap, not an important bit. The important bit is once we cross the line and get into corner one. Braking on the second flag. There it is. Down to third. Car under control. Borrowing some of that curb. See if we can get some of that yellow. Yes, we've got as much of the yellow as the ghost did, but he's as quick as we are. Look at him pull away through there. He's absolutely flying. We've borrowed more of that curb than needed, but he's got a better line into this corner. And we're not sliding. We're using that orange curb. Straighten the steering wheel and get as much throttle down as you possibly can. As I'll repeat again, this is a traction control demonstration. It's the cheats route. No, it's not. That's how it feels to some people by using TC, but I can honestly tell you I can't handle rear-wheel drive cars. All of my personal cars are four-wheel drive. So I've got a Subaru Impreza 2.5 turbo that is permanent four-wheel drive, and I've got a BMW 3 Series M Sport, which is the 335 diesel, but it's 320 brake horsepower and it is a beast. 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, and it's four-wheel drive and it sticks to the road. My last rear-wheel drive car was a MGTF 180, which was a lovely little car but suffered problems with its engines, and it never got anywhere near as racy as these two cars that I've got now. But with that being the case, we're closing in on this ghost. We're up with him. Well, just to let you know, I'm selling the BMW. That's on its way to be replaced by something new. We'll talk about that when we get that. I've not introduced any of my cars to the channel because this is all about GT. Did you see just how much we gained through that corner? Oh my lord, let's go, let's go. He's got it back. Oh no. I thought we had the chance of gold then. I thought we were going to do it. We know we're going to beat him through that corner though. Look at that. Oh, and he's just starting to pull away again. Do not, no. Oh, disappointment. Even now at 224.43. Now, is that gold or not? I don't think it is. So I go and do another 9 laps. This is the 9th lap, and on lap number 10, let's see, I was nowhere near that. Oh, nowhere near at this point. Let's see where we go. So this is that last lap ghost. 10 laps further on. So 10 laps is another 20 minutes odd, another half an hour on of lapping and lapping and lapping and learning and trying to beat and trying to understand and sliding and swearing and getting frustrated. And look at him, he's pulling away already. It's almost the time I was thinking to exit the game and start again with the new Ghost, but I know it'd be 10 laps further down. I know I'd have to do it again, so I just thought, no, just keep giving it that one more. Let's get in touch with the Ghost, and all we have to do is be clean through the last section. That braking point, we've hit it. We're going to be smooth through this corner. The Ghost is about 0.5 seconds ahead. He's pulling away up into fifth early. Get across that white curb. We didn't hit the grass there. We can be quick through here. Full on the beans. Let's not slide it. Let's not slide it. The Ghost did. Are we catching him? A 1:14.4. That's as quick as I've seen all day through there. Have you noticed how the sun's covered up all the sun shadow? The shadow there is all gone. It's just one big array of greyness. No markers there at all if you were using shadow markers. And we're miles behind the Ghost. Look at this. Oh no, get across that curb. We've done it beautifully. We stole a ton. We're actually on the grass, but no, we're doing good. We're 1/10 up on our previous best. We slid the back end into there in fifth, noticed. Back up to fourth. We're pushing on. Get through here. Here we go, final corner. Braking on time. We caught him into the corner there. What are we going to be? Are we within 0.4? One would hope so. 0.2. We're only looking for a 223. If we can get a 223, we're good. A 223.66. Happy days. And at that point, look, you can see I've got a possible 219. Just saw it there as it went past. But there it is, folks, a gold. And with a little bit of time left on the video, I'd just like to say we're in the top 4,500, within the top 3%. And if that lead time doesn't get better, we've got a gold. And hopefully you can. Just show my friends list there. I've gone to the top of my friends list. Hopefully I'm still there at the next day. But just with the last 20 seconds of the video, just like to say thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't, please do. This takes a lot of effort and I hope to see some reward from it. But all the best, folks. We'll see you shortly. Maybe within the next 7 days. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.